Can you fucking believe it? Finally, in person.
In the flesh. We're here. Podcasting live.
Isn't this wild?
That we're in Sherman fucking Oaks, like we're in the valley.
She said it, not me.
We're in the valley. I am so excited.
I know. This is like our first time doing an episode live together in one location.
I think the funniest part about this is that we have tried to do this
like 5,000 times. And every time we do, it's like either there's like a party that happened last minute or we're hungover the next day. Mainly it's the hungover part, mainly.
I feel like we usually expect the rager of some sort, but then like we overestimate our ability to recover. And it's like, no, bitch, you're 30. Well, you're 30 now. I'm 32 now, but it's like, girls, like get it together. You got to record before you get fucked up.
I actually was thinking, and for context for our listeners, we were just at a rager earlier in the evening. And I made it my mission to get us back in time before we were all absolutely blasted. Because I was like, there is no way in hell that we are not going to like actually do this recording in person.
I know, we were like, we look fucking cute. We got makeup done. Our hair is done. We got lipstick on. It's time. Like, we have to make this happen.
For you guys. All for y'all.
For the fucking viewer listeners. I think it's called listeners, but we're going to call you viewers. No, but I also, I feel like we were so responsible today in general. We were all like pacing ourselves. I could have drank more water. But generally speaking, we were also like those fucking girls on the hunt for content. Like, really, I was genuinely like, all of our friends were probably like, who the fuck are these girls that think that they're influencers taking pictures, like smiling into the sun and like pretend laughing at each other? It was like one of those kind of situations. The house was so beautiful. I felt like we couldn't not.
It really was. That was like a grown-up party. Well, it was a grown-up party, but it was also like a rager grown-up party. And I feel like we were very responsible.
Moral of the story is we made it. We made it. We made it. Yeah.
And we are going to pass the fuck out after this, y'all. Just letting y'all know. But it's going to be a good episode.
It's literally 8:34 and in my head it's 4:44.
Weird, right?
I don't know why. Is it just like we're not really used to being social outside of our friend group?
Well, it's like sunshiny. There's a lot of people. I feel like with COVID times, we weren't like really with large crowds like that. We also didn't know many of the people. So having to exert a certain amount of like emotional, mental, like physical energy in order to engage. And there's also like an aspect of like psychological masking too, because you don't really know these people. So it's like having to put on like your best version of yourself. Okay. I guess it's just me who thinks of all these things.
No, I was just going to make a joke. And then I was like, I don't know if we should make this joke.
Probably not.
Anyway, no, but it was really fun. I also think it was that we kind of accidentally raged a little bit yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't really accidental. I think we knew what we were doing yesterday.
I did not intend on raging yesterday.
I mean, did you really?
I mean, no, but I definitely didn't not either at the same time. So
that's fair.
I think it's just like a relative kind of situation. Like,
but also like, what does raging really mean when you're in your 30s? Like, let's be realistic.
I mean, I literally threw out 2 recycling bags of bottles.
That's true.
That's raging in my eyes. That's raging.
Yes. Alcoholism might be real.
No.
Just kidding.
You excuse me. I'm sorry. Maddie got here at like 6 p.m. No, you actually got here really early. You got here at 4:30. And for the record, I'm fairly certain that Pierre was P-Nasty was probably.
He was the worst one.
Exactly.
Like, I think like nobody realizes he's drunk because A, he's always quiet. Yeah. And B, it's like he's like ninja sleuthing it. So like there's, and for context for our listeners, Alina has like this little fridge in her backyard, part of like the barbecue setup. And all of like these like canned beverages are placed there. So Pierre's literally getting up, And all of a sudden, like, he'll disappear. He'll have like a can in hand. So I'm thinking it's the same fucking can every time I see him. Nope. I'm pretty sure he was like 8 cans deep by the time we decided to like end.
Apparently it was 8.
Oh my God. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time to get started on our basic bitch quickie.
Tell us what that is, Mads.
Basically, where we do top headlines of the week. We do like show overviews, pretty much anything that's really top of mind that's happened during the week, and we just give our 2 cents on it. I think, you know,
We cover the news cycle so you don't have to pay attention.
exactly, and we try to give it our little spin on it, if you will. So when you're ready, let me know. You ready?
Let's fucking do it.
Okay. First things first, y'all. Everyone knows we love the Kardashian family. So I think as part of our regular planned content, we got to have our Kardashian family update. And so I think the most pertinent thing that's happened this week, we'll start off with Kravis getting quote unquote married in Vegas.
Okay. Where do we even start here? I feel like I was like shocked, not shocked when I heard about this, Mads. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked, not shocked. And I was like, good for them. Are they or are they not going to do it? But lo and behold, it wasn't with a license. It was all a fucking waste of my energy. It was a waste of TMZ's energy, a waste of people, us, Bravo. Like it was just like a publicity stunt. And I feel like I'm kind of fucking tired of the publicity stunts coming from them.
So I will say when it first happened, I was like, is this real? Because in my head, I knew that the Kardashian, the new series that they're doing with Hulu is right around the corner. I think it's actually this month that it's airing, I believe.
Yes.
And I was like, is this part of like this, like a stunt being pulled for the show? And immediately after I saw the article, because I think, was it you or no, I saw it and I think I sent it to you and you're like, oh, I already saw this.
Yeah.
Immediately after it was like, oh, it's fake. And I was like, okay, I knew it had to be fake. So the fact of the matter is like they literally did the whole like Whitechapel thing with Elvis as a joke or as practice, quote unquote practice. But I really think it's just, once again, our queen, Kris Jenner, like making magic happen so that, those numbers are in for that Hulu show.
You guys, I mean, literally Kris Jenner is like, she's so hard at work. She ensures we have a Kardashian family update in our podcast. Like there's never, I feel like there was 1 week in the last like 3 months that the Kardashians did not have multiple headlines worthy of our discussion. So touche, Kris. But like I said, I don't know, like at what point do we get tired of the bullshit? Do I get tired of being led like strung along and like led on and then be like, oh, just kidding. I don't know.
I think for me, there's just a part of it where it's like, I love seeing how ingenious they are from a marketing schematics perspective. Like I've now seen so much in regards to like how they navigate from a business perspective. Like you could teach this in business school as like a use case to like for PR and how to get people eyeballs on you.
I feel like there's literally a class at a school. I feel like it's like Harvard or something. No, I think there's literally like an Ivy League school that's done like a marketing like the Kardashians class or something. I'm gonna look into this, but also we need to take it.
Oh, not gonna lie,
girl,
we need the first one to take that class. Fuck. Yeah, that family. No, I agree with you. I think it does get exhausting, but at the same time, I also, for me, because I can take a step back and not get so embroiled in it emotionally, that I'm more so looking at the chess game that they're playing. And I think that for me is fun.
I don't think that has anything to do with you not getting emotional about it. I think it's literally how you live your life.
Yeah.
Like you literally just like dissect people's behaviors. Right, you're the brain, duh. I mean, we wouldn't have a podcast if you weren't like that, which I think is amazing. But no one, and okay, I don't disagree, but I also, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my trust is being violated a little too much lately. And so I'm just like, what's real? What's not? Why do I care? Do I care? Am I just going to be let down anyway? So what's the point?
That's deep. Okay. No, I see that. Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna fucking watch the show though. Like,
I haven't decided if I will yet.
Really?
I guess I'm gonna be the one updating you all on the Kardashians.
I just wasn't into keeping up anymore. It was the same thing. Like, how many fucking pranks can you play on your family? How many times can we watch Kim tell Kourtney she's lazy? How many times can we see Tristan cheat on Khloe? Like, I don't know. It just, I'm kind of over it. But you'll keep us abreast of the situation, I'm sure.
I for sure fucking will. Okay, so next up on the list, and I know this is like minute, but I thought it was adorable, and I know we have varying opinions on this, but Kris Jenner's new haircut. I thought she looked like Mary Jo. I thought it was cute. I love the haircut. I know everyone loves her pixie haircut, like it's what Kris Jenner is known for, but I thought it was aging her a lot.
You think that this fucking bob is better? I literally thought she looked like an 83-year-old grandmother. No, I thought she looked like MJ. I, by the way, did not know her mother's name was Mary Jo. I know her was like MJ. I didn't know it was Mary Jo.
Oh, I thought it was maybe I'm just making shit up, guys.
I don't know, but anyway, okay. So I personally am not a fan of the bob. I think she looks older, like her mother.
It's Mary Jo Campbell. There we go. So I was right, Mary Jo.
I did not realize
the beauty of the internet, y'all. Beauty of the internet.
Look how quick that was. No, I genuinely didn't realize, first of all, that was her name. I feel like that's they're all so exotic that I can't stomach the idea that one of them is named the actual matriarch of this family. I mean, we know Kris's, but the woman who made the ultimate momager, her fucking name is Mary Jo. That's the most hick shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
I mean, it just doesn't. I get it. It doesn't fit it considering I think they really step into their whole Armenian thing. And when you look at the Kardashians, you don't see
Mary Jo.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Your name Mary Jo, but I'm sorry, your name is not exotic.
Yeah, so, it just doesn't fit in line with what the brand the Kardashians have built around themselves.
Exactly.
I get that.
Okay. So no, I'm not a fan of the haircut. Go back to the bob. It's also not a haircut; it's a wig.
Yeah. So she's probably going to keep the pixie, as we know. So moving on from that contentious point. So next one, Kanye West drops out of Coachella. I had a feeling this was going to happen.
I think everyone kind of had a feeling it was going to happen. Apparently he's doing it so that he can genuinely go and get help. I saw today that he's on the hunt for a proper facility to help with his mental health struggles, but he has not been able to find something that has the program that he wants with the luxury that Kanye West deserves.
I love that you said Kanye West deserves. Yeah, I mean, that's so interesting. I would assume that these types of facilities would predominantly be more luxurious because I feel like people with money are the ones who have money to seek out help for healthcare or for mental health in particular. So it's surprising to me. That's quite surprising.
Okay. Yes, but also the key is what Kanye West thinks Kanye West deserves, right?
That's true. Probably wants a massive chateau in the middle of France kind of thing.
No, I think he literally wants his own fucking island with, people to fly in fresh wahoo from Hawaii. I feel like Kanye lives in Kanye world, and so he probably nothing's going to be good enough for him. And I wonder if that's just an excuse for him to get out of going.
Oh, potentially. Could be. What I thought was interesting about all of this was more so who they got to replace him. So it's The Weeknd. I've actually seen him the year that I did go to Coachella. He was actually headlining. He's a great performer, I think. What was interesting, though, is that the organizer of Coachella, he did not want to pay The Weeknd the $8 million that he was giving Kanye, and The Weeknd was like, "Well, then I'm a peace out," and they didn't want to have to deal with a second dropped headliner. Honestly, Coachella's been a fucking nightmare. I literally saw on TikTok people were posting these videos of what Coachella tickets were going for when Kanye dropped out. And they were like going for dirt cheap because people were like literally going for him. And so they ended up caving and giving The Weeknd the $8 million price tag that they were giving Kanye because of the fact that they just didn't want to deal with the damage of a second person dropping.
So, I mean, I feel like COVID was not kind to Coachella
At all.
And in general, like Coachella is my worst fucking nightmare in the history of the world. Like,
it's fun.
I'm sure it's fun. However, for me personally, you know me, I know myself rather. And I am the kind of person where I appreciate particular creature comforts. And that does not mean like, you know me, I'm not a hotel snob or anything like that. I don't like to wait online for the bathroom. It's literally a thing.
Also, bathrooms are disgusting.
Exactly. I have no interest in going to festivals for that reason. Like the last festival, I think literally the last one I went to was Oktoberfest. I went to Oktoberfest and I remember we somehow managed to weasel our way into the Polliner tent. And I spent the entire time waiting online for the bathroom because by the time I got to the bathroom, I had to pee again. It's like an hour long wait every time. No, like for me, it's like, why am I going to spend hundreds of dollars to go to a festival to literally just stand online for the bathroom? Not my thing. Not interested.
I'm at this point where when I have the money or think it's a good investment of money, if I go to this festival again, I'm for sure doing VIP because when I went, I mean, I loved the crew that I went with, right? We were in a hotel, but it was like 6 girls or 5 girls to a hotel room. We were there the full weekend together. Basically, like you have no space. Also, like you're walking everywhere. You're so uncomfortable. And then also I wasn't made aware of like the dust storms too. And so like my whole nasal cavity, like throat was scratched to shit. And on top of that, like I feel like the experience is very different when you're going for like general versus when you have VIP. Because VIP, it's like you have all of that like beautiful seating arrangement and you have like easy access to a bar and all of those things and you don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do lines. So moral story. Okay. Well, I think that this would be a really interesting, given that it's Coachella time, this would be a fantastic like topic to dive into more. But moral story is Kanye out The Weeknd, and I think good for him for fucking fighting for his money. Also, Swedish House Mafia is like another headliner that they brought in. So it was like Kanye became 2. I feel like I would love to see Swedish House Mafia, but also I know they're even still around. My point is like,
it's like they're not as relevant.
What I'm saying is slim pickings, guys. Okay.
Wait, who else dropped out? Somebody else dropped out of Coachella, didn't they? Oh no, it was Kanye was saying that he wanted Billie Eilish to drop out because isn't she part of the headliners this weekend? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, they had beef and then she basically was like, fuck you. Anyway, so Kanye, we really hope that you get the help you need.
Yeah, and like, you know, cater your expectations, my man. My dude. Cater your expectations. Okay, next topic has pretty much the internet on fire. Bennifer engaged for the second time. We all knew this was coming.
So I've been thinking about this a lot today because I feel like it's been literally everywhere. You can't like look you can't go on Instagram and seeing this. I like was looking at like pictures of them from the red carpet. I forget which red carpet it was when she wore that. Oh, maybe it wasn't the Met Gala. Anyway, she wore that like stunning white dress with the like jeweled neckline. Anyway, they are just fucking timeless. And I actually love them as a couple.
Mm. I think about Jennifer Garner.
Well, no, we've talked about this already. Like, if you're Jennifer Garner, you're furious, right? Like, wait, I literally have 3 children with this man. I was married to him for however many years. Was he in love with her the whole time? Yeah. No, but I was just like, is J-Lo that amazing of a person? I love her, but obviously I don't know her. I'm like, is she that amazing of a person? Does she have like a golden vagina? Like, This bitch gets multi-million-dollar rings yearly. She's been engaged / married and or married 6 times.
Yeah. Girl has a track record.
But like, and like she's fucking J-Lo. She's beautiful. She's obviously smart. She's business savvy. She's this, she's that. But like 6 times. And like most of them happens like she's married to someone from like 98 to 99. 2001 got married. 2002 got divorced. Got engaged in 2003. So like talk to me about what you think about that.
I mean, there's some people who just like love. And I think J-Lo might be one of those people who just like loves love. There's also this part of me too that believes that like when people marry, divorce, marry multiple times like that, like there's clearly potentially some psychological work that needs to be done on the self a little bit, right? It's either you're jumping into these engagements too quickly, or you know, there's something that just like a pattern that's showing up in each relationship that like needs to be learned from. But once again, I don't really know the ins and outs of her. She hasn't made much of that public, I think, like the reason of the dissolution for much of her relationships as much.
Maybe because she knew them for 4 minutes before she got married.
But at the end of the day, I actually think this whole Bennifer thing is quite sweet because, you know, I'm very spiritual and woo-woo, and there's a part of me that does believe in soulmates and twin flames, and I've always felt like they were meant for each other, and for them to like have this sort of separation, like grow separately and then find themselves again at the end. It's kind of beautiful.
So I really like them together, but I always felt that way about her and Mark Anthony. I always felt like they were so perfect for each other.
I think they were perfect for each other to have kids, which they did.
Okay.
Like they were meant to be together for that period of time because they were meant to create beautiful life together. But like I think her and Ben Affleck, I think there's something about them. When I just look at them, it just, to me, it's like two halves of the same whole.
See, I don't see that. Really? I like them together. They're beautiful. They both, I mean, she doesn't age
at all.
Ben Affleck has aged so well.
Really? No, I think he has aged a little, but he's like aged in the sense that like
white men do,
like fine wine. Yeah, like he's like I feel like they're white men in particular when they hit that 40s, 50s range, and they, you know, they keep up a little bit. You know, you got that silver fox look a little bit. Every time I see a little salt in Pierre's hair, I'm like, get saltier, please.
Really?
I would love the salt and pepper look.
Oh my God, I'm going to dye Mark's hair in his fucking sleep when he turns silver fox.
Seriously?
Not my thing. It's not that I don't like it. Like, I can appreciate it, but like, not my thing. I just, no. No, but I think Ben Affleck, there was a period where I was like, whoa, you're aging like a white woman.
It was when he was like drinking a lot and smoking a lot. Yes. And it was like quite obvious he was going through something. That's what, because when you were saying he aged, I was thinking of that picture of him, you know, that meme where he's like smoking that cigarette where like clearly time is like too much for him. Like life is exhausting, which we've all felt, of course. But yeah, to your point, like he's like cleaned up, you know, and he's like done some work.
Great.
He looks great. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think it was their first red carpet back together, like Bennifer 2.0.
By the way, it was so quick after her and A-Rod split. Oh, I was like, did something happen there?
Who do you think is more mad, A-Rod or Jennifer Garner?
I would say Jennifer. J-Lo didn't have kids with A-Rod. And also I think A-Rod cheated on her.
Fair. Okay, fine. Anyway, but when they came out together, I was like, Ben, you've been taking care of yourself. You clearly have cleaned up your act. Your haircut's great. Your suit is a perfect cut. Jennifer, J-Lo, come on. Perfection always. But I was just like, oh, this is amazing. What do you think about the ring?
I plead the fifth.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not like a fan of it.
No, it's hideous.
like it. I don't know why he picked it, and I don't know why she agreed with it, but okay.
Well, okay, I guess. Let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I was
Still an ugly ass ring.
I'm not a fan of green, as I wear green. But a green diamond, I get it. It's rarer than a pink diamond, blah, blah, blah. It's literally the original ring that he got her, but with a green, more rare diamond. And I personally think it's just like, do you really want to look down at your fucking hand every single day and have to see green?
It's also like not a pretty green either.
It's like a peridot.
I just
not my fan. Not my thing.
No, if you're gonna do like a colored diamond for me, just go with a gemstone. Like fuck that. I don't like if you're gonna get me a diamond, get me a diamond. You know what I mean? Like I want a flawless, like amazing cut, like, you know?
Sure, but I think the ring that he bought her 18 years ago, 18 years they were broken up, okay? Let's just let that sink in for a second, okay? 18, literally that's more than half my life. Yeah. Okay, so he had bought her, it was rumored to be $2.5 million, Harry Winston. I think it was like 6.1 carats, rare pink diamond, right? Flanked by 2 white diamonds. Then she got a ring from Mark Anthony. There was also a Harry Winston. I don't remember all the specs, but it was a white diamond. That one was rumored to be $4 million. Then the ring from A-Rod, I don't know how many millions, but like, I think it was like 20 carats. So it's like, how do you like, you can't just get her a 5-carat ring or even a 10-carat ring, which
you have to like just outdo all the others before.
When she just
it's also kind of terrible when you think about it. I also, you know this, I don't wear my wedding ring.
I was actually thinking about that today. Like you literally have not worn your wedding ring, I think, since COVID started.
Yeah, I just, A, I'm not like a jewelry person. B, I also have this like fear of getting like getting robbed, right? Or like C, also losing it.
You because don't have insurance?
No, yes, we do have insurance on it, but I fiddle with my ring a lot and I'm scared of losing it. It's just, I just prefer not to. And so, you know, when we were going to get the ring and they were trying to sell me on different settings, the reason why they were like, maybe this one, the one that I ended up choosing, of course, they were like, oh, maybe you don't want this one because you can't actually adjust the prongs on this one because of the design work around it. So like, you know, some people will update the diamond at the 5-year mark, 10-year mark, 15, whatever, every 5 years.
I've never done anything like that.
Ugh, oh my God. I literally, they're like, maybe this isn't a good idea. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't update the thing. Like, I don't give a damn. But also jewelry isn't my thing. Diamonds aren't my thing. So it's like hearing that and like how obscene these like diamond rings are and these engagement rings are, my brain cannot wrap itself around the concept of it.
But I also think that like you and I don't have $10 million to spend, period, let alone on a ring.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like pocket change maybe for them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But still,
like when you think about that, right?
I feel like even if when I have money, let's put when
we're going to manifest this shit.
When we have the money, I still don't think I would spend that much on jewelry. Like I also don't own, like I don't care.
That's just not your thing.
It's not my thing. I'd rather like do experiences, right? Like spend on like a nice luxury hotel versus like, you know.
Oh my God. Okay, but also if you had $1 million to spend on a ring, you also have money to spend on a luxury hotel. So why not? I guess is the question.
Well, I guess I don't like jewelry. Maybe that's what
it is. You're just not flashy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, dun 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 dun. Lena over here with her bling.
No. Next year it's 10 years. What am I going to get out of this guy?
Are you going to do an updated thing?
No, I don't wear my engagement ring on a day-to-day basis, to be honest with you. I'm wearing because we were obviously out today. No, I don't think I want an updated ring. I don't know what I want yet. I have a year to think about it, but
another Cartier bracelet, maybe?
Don't say that's triggering for Mark.
I will never forget seeing him in Bali when we were talking about Cartier bracelets. I don't think I've ever seen Mark turn so sour so quickly.
He is still so angry that he gave in to me for my 30th birthday. But anyway,
on to the next thing.
Well,
but End of story. Not my thing. Congratulations to them, though.
Yes, I'm excited for them. Yeah. Do you think they walk down the aisle? I think you think it, but
I think they're probably going to do something small and quiet.
You think they get married?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I don't not think so, but I also thought her and A-Rod were pretty good together. So it's like hard to know. She's been engaged 6 times. Okay, on to the next. What else?
Okay, so this is a big one. As you know, we did an episode about the Oscars debacle of 2022.
The slap heard around the world.
The slap heard around the world. And so the investigation from the Academy has now come to an end.
It sounds thorough as fuck.
Right?
A week.
They actually rescheduled it to earlier so they could get it over and done with. Apparently they were split on having Will Smith having to return his Oscar, aka they take it back. But what they did agree upon was that he is now banned from Academy events for the next 10 years.
Okay. So I saw this. I think you sent it to me. I was surprised, and I'm kind of like, should I have been surprised? Is it really that shocking?
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is all
a sham. Kris Jenner.
Our favorite person to point at and be like, she planned it. This is because we believe, like, we have such high regard for her and her intelligence and overall just like strategic chess play. I think it is a play from the Academy to acquiesce to the pressures of the world at the moment around him needing to be punished for utilizing physical violence and assaulting someone on a stage of what used to be a very classy event. However, I think what will happen is there may be an appeals process in the future. This is me doing my little psychic whatever it is of what I think is going to happen. I think there will probably be some kind of appeals process, and I think what's going to happen is they're going to revert after things cool down.
Okay, hold on. I don't disagree with that, because has he come out and said anything about the ban?
Oh, he said that he respects their decision. That. Yeah. So he came out and said he respects the decision. I think what's interesting, though, is that nobody else from his family is really coming out. And also, Jada is getting fucking ruined on social media right now. Like, people are pulling up old videos and old content and like ripping her to shreds. She hasn't come out and said anything since really all of this went down, but people are talking about during the Red Table Talk how she was saying how she never really wanted to get married to Will. I don't know if you watched that episode where she was talking about she didn't really want to get married. She felt like she was forced into it. Will was really happy during the wedding and she wasn't. She was absolutely miserable. And it was more so framed around like the societal framework of what marriage is. Like, that was the main focus of the conversation, but people are taking snippets from it and being like, look how she never really cared about him. So that's one thing that's happening. Number two, there's another video, apparently, I think this was like back in 2019 potentially, or maybe earlier, where she talks about Esther Pearl, who's a therapist. And she was like, how like beneficial has she been? And he basically tells her like, I would appreciate it, like, if you didn't film me like that without me knowing, or whatever the context was. He basically told her like, why are you filming me?
Wait, Will or?
Will. So she asked him this question, put him on the camera, and he was like, why are you putting, and he looks like distraught, like he does not want to be on camera. And so people essentially right now are using any piece of evidence they can find to essentially tell the narrative that this is Jada's fault. And that like things have been bad between Will and Jada for a really long time. And that essentially Will was at his breaking point. That's why he did what he did.
I mean, I don't know that I disagree. Look, I don't know their marriage, but I feel like the signs point to this, what the signs point to.
Look, Will shouldn't have gone up and slapped anybody. It was uncalled for. I think I thought that Chris Rock's joke was kind of shitty. I was like, okay, whatever. Apparently he didn't know she had alopecia, supposedly. I don't know if I believe that.
Except Pfizer paid him to say it.
Pfizer paid him to say
it.
Conspiracy alert. But I think that there's so many factors here and so many theories as to what went down. What I think is most plausible is, he was probably at a psychological point where the media is making fun of his marriage. also like poking at his masculinity because she did essentially drag him into the red table talk to talk about the entanglement. And now August Alsina, by the way, FYI, came out and apparently is going to have a tell-all book. So like this is all just really messy.
Fucking book. It's just so. Wait, no, like really, like, do people actually care enough about this guy's tell-all to read it?
I don't know what else he's done other than be
Jada's.
Well, I've like listened to his music before, but I only know like one or two of his songs. I don't know anything much else about him. Yeah, but he's like not someone like, I would go and read
that I would read.
Like you would want to read like Oprah's biography or Obama's biography or whoever, you know what I mean? But like August Alsina, like not.
No, that's my point.
I'm interested in. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I would want to read my biography. I'd want to read your biography.
Oh, I'd want to read yours too, but I also know a lot about you, so I feel like it would just be like a repeat of what I know, unless you get really deep in there. Maybe some like X-rated content in there, a little bit, but yeah. Sure. About Tarzan.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna live that down. So really quickly before we get to our last story, are we doing this? Yeah. Okay. Last night, Maddie was telling everyone that she wants to go on this particular cruise, or we were talking about Disney.
We were talking about Disney, how I don't understand what the Disney experience is at like Aulani Resort, which is like a resort that they have in Hawaii. I was like, how can you bring Disney to Hawaii? Like, I just don't, because for me, I love Disney. Everyone knows I love Disney. I love going to the parks. I love the theme park. I love going on rides. How does that translate over into resort? And then I started talking about the cruise line. I was like, how does that Disney experience translate over into a cruise experience? Also, mind you, I've never been on a cruise before in my life. So then Alina pipes up and then says,
I went on a Disney cruise one time. It was a 2-night situation out of Orlando. One of my best friends in high school was a performer on it. And I was like, and I started laughing. And I hooked up with Tarzan while I was there. Anyway, let's just say.
Mark isn't happy about that one. She did not get to hear the end of it at all last night.
Let's just say that Mark wants to be king of the jungle. So, anyway, back to regular scheduled programming.
Oh, it's just too good to pass.
Wait, okay, so really quickly, just final note on the Will Smith being banned situation. Yeah. Do you think it's appropriate? Because I think 10 years is kind of a lot.
Well, I
want to hear Chris Rock's like take on it. Because I feel like, yeah, like I guess I feel like if Chris is like, yes, like I feel like, I don't know, because in the moment, right, he didn't want to file a police report. He didn't want to make a big deal out of it. So it's like, if we're all making this into a bigger, I think it's actually good that the Academy is doing something about it, right? Because you can't set the precedent that you can go around.
I guess I don't know what the code of conduct is for the Academy. So like, I think that's why it's like hard because I don't know what their code of conduct is.
I don't think they have a code of conduct around slapping somebody.
Well, I'm sure there has to be some, like the way that they have to like uphold themselves in these events, right? There has to be some sort of code of conduct if you're a member of a society or something like that. So my assumption is that there probably is a code of conduct. That's why they had the meeting to talk about what the repercussions of it would be. So I don't know what the code of conduct is. I don't know what's been agreed upon as part of the membership. So, and I also don't know like what other reprimandation, like things they could have done to reprimand him.
Take his Grammy, take his Oscar away.
They could have taken the Oscar. They could have completely removed his membership to the Academy. They're only banning him. I mean, 10 years, yes, it's a lot.
10 years to being fucking 67. No, not literally. I made that up. How old is he now? I think he's like 50.
I mean, yeah, 2032. That's a long ways away. A long ways away. But I think it's really hard because a lot of people's input is muddling up what the reality of the situation is because the reality of the situation is between Will Smith and Chris Rock.
I also think that like the other thing that's kind of muddying the whole situation is like Will is so likable. Yeah. And so many people are like have his back and, you know, think that he is a victim and all these things. And so I feel like it is very easy to be like, oh, is 10 years too aggressive or is it Jada's fault? Whereas if it was, I'm trying to think of someone who's maybe not so likable. If it was like, who's not likable? Jared Leto or Who's another not likable? If it was Alec Baldwin, for example, I feel like people would be like, 10 years, take away his fucking Oscar. Do this, kick him out, right? So I feel like the fact that it is Will Smith, but maybe that's also due to the fact like he has such a clean track record.
Well, I think that that's what's hard about this. And I think that's why, not that I want to bring it to this point, but why people are also bringing the race thing in, right? Because he is a black man, right? So people are like, are people being harsher on him because he's a black man, because he's had such a clean slate his whole life that he had to uphold? This is the one time we see him weak, and now everyone is on his ass about it. You see what I mean? It's complicated, and I'm not going to give any input on this, but like it is one of the things that is being brought up.
I get it, but I also think that like we also have to remember nothing like this has ever happened. So, right? Like to my knowledge, nobody's ever physically assaulted a host. Again, to our knowledge, no one has physically struck anybody. They had to do something. And maybe I think people want
some kind of resolution, and it's hard when like something so violent that like triggered, I think, a lot of people, right? People want an end to this. People want justice. And it's really hard because once again, this is between Chris Rock and Will Smith. And you know, we're not seeing what's happening behind the scenes with them. And Jada. Well, people are roping her ass in all of this. So yeah, I mean, I just go back to the fact that like if I saw my husband getting up wanting to defend me in that way, which I think is also really nice to see a husband wanting to defend his wife, but at the same time, not the place, not the time. I'm not going to let you embarrass yourself on the biggest night of your life like that. Like, I'm just thinking if I were in her shoes in that moment, I'm not her, right? I don't know what's going on in their lives, but if I were there, I would not have let him even get a foot up. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not happening. So that's why there's a part of me that's just like, this is so much more convoluted than we think it is.
No, of course it is. Yeah. But anyway.
Besides the point. Anyways, last story, since we don't want this to be a part 2 of the Will Smith debacle. Chrishell Stause bought her $3 million home with Justin Hartley ring.
Wait, okay. So I saw this. Part of me, when I saw obviously the last season of Selling Sunset, so excited by the way for season 5. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I saw that it's out. Heard it's great. Very, very excited. We know we love these girls. We know that we are obsessed with the show. When she bought the house, I was like,
how are you affording this?
Not like yes and no, right? Because I was like, okay, obviously I know you do very well. Yeah. I was wondering if it had something to do with the divorce, only because like up until I feel like season 4, maybe season 3, like Chrishell was very much hustling, right?
Girl's a hustler.
Yeah, she's a very hard worker. But my point is like up until that point, like it wasn't like she was selling houses that would just give you $600,000 to put down. Yeah. So I was actually like, how is she affording this? Like, unless she's making a lot more money than I thought she could potentially even be making on, Selling Sunset. Good for her. But her ring was beautiful. I feel like I would have struggled to part ways with that.
So how much was the ring exactly?
I don't know. I actually don't know enough about her ring. It didn't say it in the article that I read about this. But her ring, I remember I saw pictures. I remember thinking it was stunning. Didn't like her wedding dress. Loved her ring. But, so, okay.
I was about to ask you a question.
You ask.
Because I think this is going to be probably in line. So when you get a divorce, do you think it's appropriate for the woman to keep the ring?
Okay. In this case in particular, 100%. Okay. He filed for divorce without her knowing.
Yeah, I mean, that was fucked up.
And told her via text as it was being blasted to the tabloids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that one.
No, I need to Google now what was the ring? Do we know?
Like how much it was? Worth? I have no idea. It wasn't in what I read either. So
it wasn't in what I read. Okay, hold on.
I mean, I think for me, like they buy you an engagement ring. So I'm going to get cultural for a second. So in Egypt, we have this thing called a shepka, which is basically when you get married, the groom buys you a very, very expensive gift before the wedding, right? And it's yours. And so like that is technically yours, right? It's part of like the I'm showering you with gifts kind of thing.
Okay.
So for me, I've always felt like if you guys get a divorce, you keep the ring.
Okay, give me an example of a shepka. Is it like a car? Is it like a house? Is it like a ring?
Oh no, it's like a full beautiful like traditionally it will be gold, like
24 karat?
24 karat gold. It'll be like a necklace, bracelet, ring,
Like a whole set.
So for me, it's like, I guess because like culturally I've been conditioned to be like, okay, well,
I deserve this. I'm getting this. It's mine.
exactly. So for me, I'm just of the mindset that like, well, as part of the process, like he wanted to marry you. He gave you this thing, right, to like quote unquote lock you down. So like if you guys are separating ways, I think it makes sense for her to keep the ring.
Yeah. So I think that the general rule of thumb is if you get married, it's yours.
Yeah.
But if you split before you get married, you have to give it back.
I can totally see that. That makes sense to me. But if you get married, I think it's because there's also a part of me too that believes like it's going to sound shitty, maybe a little bit, but like I feel like it's harder for women after a divorce than it is for men.
Like to find someone else?
Well,
or just
not
in
to
life?
find. I think it's like in life, right? It's like especially if you're having to start over again. I'm also thinking about it from like the perspective of like generationally speaking, right? Like maybe not so much in our generation right now, but in previous generations where like, let's say a woman is following the man from city to city to city. She's like lost all of her community, for example. And like now they're getting a divorce in a city where she may not be as familiar and has to start all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, during a time period where it was like the man who was like providing, right? So I would say like the ring is like sort of an insurance for her that she can then sell to like start her life.
Buy a $3.3 million house in the Hollywood Hills?
Exactly. Well, that plus, you know, alimony.
I wonder if she got anything. Anyway, no, okay, fine. Sure. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it more from a historical context.
I do think so. Doesn't that go against what every fucking feminist wants? I'm not a feminist, but don't ask me.
Isn't feminism though the whole like right to choose?
I don't think it's just the right to choose.
Isn't it?
Is it just the right to choose? I feel like it's like the right to
like you want to be deemed equal, right? Or like to have the option to decide to go down that route.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the idea that like it's harder for a woman or like why should a man be the one that has to take care of the girl, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, not a feminist over here. Very much expect alimony if Mark ever, you know, if we ever don't work out.
I'm over this like feminism, boss bitch, babe lifestyle. I'm trying to be a fucking trophy wife at the end of the day.
I'm trying to sit at home with a glass of rosé.
Be by the pool. Do this podcast.
Hang out with my friend.
That be that.
Have a podcast.
Be with the boys.
Play with the dogs. Literally. I'm like, I just want to fucking farm.
Live a garden.
Don't want to have to take care of the farm though.
Well, I mean, maybe not like the farm life, but I would be into the gardening aspect.
You think that until you have a fucking garden.
Well, but like if you're gardening vegetables and stuff, like I feel like you this situation that you have is very different because you're doing it more for like aesthetics versus when you're doing it from a more logistical mindset of like gardening.
I literally cut up my damn rosemary plant yesterday to
oh God, here we go about the rosemary, y'all.
Guys,
rosemary.
Guys, I
never hearing the end of it.
Slaughtered my rosemary plant so you guys could have some flavor on your damn steak.
Did you have dried rosemary in the cupboard? You could have just used that.
No, because I have fresh rosemary from my garden.
You could have just used that. I don't think anybody would have been upset.
I have been nurturing that plant for a year and a half.
I felt the love through that.
Anyway, moral of the story is I just need a staff.
Oh God, she needs staff. Alina, I mean, but also like when yeah, knowing Alina, that sounds very much like on brand.
What do you mean? Do you want to clean your own fucking toilets?
I have Pierre.
Exactly why you don't care about that. I want to clean my own toilets. No offense. Not my thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I'm with you. I want to be a trophy wife. I just want to hang out by the pool. I want a nice Spanish style house. Be by coastal. A jet wouldn't be.
A jet wouldn't be bad. But I mean, like, Miss
share.
Eco-friendly here, though.
I know. I do struggle with that.
It's like, how do you like struggle to like need to be eco-friendly, but also like wanting to be a rich bitch? How do you balance it? How does Leo do it? Does Leo fly commercial? I highly doubt it. Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm going to do research into this now.
Yeah, I do not think he does, considering like how. Yeah, there's
He
no
can't.
way.
There's no way in hell.
There's no way.
I do not actually know there's no way he does. You want to know how I know? Because there was a picture of him and Mila Kunis recently spotted at Van Nuys Airport down the fucking street. And guess what? It's a private airport. So he does not fly commercial. Leo, how dare you pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? It's like the rich all want to say something about, global warming and shit. But like when it comes to actually acting upon it, nobody's doing a damn thing. It's all optics.
Well,
I mean, not to depress anybody. Sorry, guys.
Now I feel like very sad and depressed and like shit. Thank you, Maddie.
I mean, he is doing God's work in sort of getting the gospel out there, I think. But, and maybe he recycles and composts. Who knows? Who knows? But at the end of the day,
maybe his staff sorts his garbage and his trash.
Probably. Leo, if you're listening, if you're ever listening, I love your work, but you gotta walk the walk, bruh.
On that note, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time, guys.